Welcome. My name is Lachloy and I'm a physical and mental cultivation coach and author of Master Your Life, The Art of Martial Mind Power, 9 Steps to Self-Mastery, inspired by Bruce Lee. I'd like to show you the front cover of the book so you know what it looks like when you order it from martialmindpower.com if you haven't already got your copy. Okay, so the purpose of this video is to explain how the book works. Now, this book is like no other. It's not a book that you pick up, read from cover to cover, close it and put it away. This is the kind of book that you'll keep by your side for the rest of your life. This is the kind of book that you'll refer to constantly to help you refine and finesse your own process of self-mastery, because self-mastery is practice, practice, practice at the end of the day. Okay, so the book has been very carefully architected and engineered, and the reason for that is it consists of 9 key chapters. Each chapter takes you through a specific step that is continually helping you evolve towards your own self-mastery. Each chapter has got a specific color allocated to it, so we start with red and transcend all the way up to black belt, so you can become a black belt in your own self-mastery. Each chapter starts off with a problem statement, so it identifies very clearly the kind of obstacles and issues that you might face in your life and explains what they will look, feel, hear, sound, taste like. Okay, and the idea therefore then is to look at the outcomes, or what I call success goals, as in how you overcome them and where that will take you, so you have a clear idea on what the objective of that specific step is. Once you understand that, then we go into a warm-up. The idea of the warm-up is to start prepping you, just warming you up, warming your mind, warming your body, so that you can start going into and engaging in the activities that will help you transcend towards your own self-mastery. Okay, so I'd like to show you an example in the book. I want to take you to page 92. Before I do that, I'd like to show you some really cool funky bookmarks that we've had done, which you'll be able to pick up from martialmindpower.com website. So I'm going to show you Possess an Eagle Eye, which is chapter 3, which is the orange belt, and they all start off with a breaker page like that, and from there are all chapters start off the same way, and they're all laid out so in a very consistent way, so you very clear on what the problem statement is and what the objectives and the welcome form outcomes will be once you master that step. Okay, so you'll see on this page we start off with a problem statement, we start looking at the objectives, okay, and then over on this side you notice how there is a table, and this table will outlines the actual stage, the orange belt, the pillar of luck. There's 13 pillars of luck that have been identified throughout the chapters, and we're trying to cultivate those. The chapter itself, the stage that we're in, and the high level description, master your alertness and awareness, and the actual success goals. These are the goals and the outcomes that we are striving towards in that specific chapter. Master Your Life consists of a plethora of do-it-yourself interactive challenges. These interactive challenges are built on 4 key pillars. Those 4 key pillars are learn, do, experience, and be. Now, when you start practicing, you start being, and that becomes a transcendence of your self-mastery towards your black belt level. Okay, now the do-it-yourself interactive challenges, or what I call activities throughout the book, are deployed in a bunch of different ways, through questions, through exercises, and through drills. And they can be carried out in one of 3 ways as well. And they are what I call think, pair, share. Think is to work on your own, pair is to do it with a partner, and share is to do it in a small group, or in some cases can be a large group, okay, depending on the nature of the activity that's outlined in the book. Okay, and in some cases when you're doing share activities, there could be an appointed leader that's going to guide the rest of the group through the activity so that everybody else gets the best out of it, so you have to swap around and so on. There could be an each person, as in a game of tag, a children's game of tag, where that person becomes the target of the game and you can engage in fun play. Okay, so the whole premise of learning is based on the idea of what I call experientialism, or is action-based learning. Okay, now The activities incorporate both sides of the coin, as I say, the mental cultivation part and the physical cultivation part, which are part of the indivisible whole. Okay, and finally, this book isn't constructed like any other activity book where you go through a set of theory and then at the end you have a bunch of questions. It's much more fun than that. We're going to throw that away. The idea is, as you go through the whole step, there are activities dispersed all the way through it, so it keeps you hooked and keeps you engaged all the way through it. To learn more about how the book works, we're going to turn to page 14, and on page 14 I have outlined how this book works, so you have a reference. Okay, and if you have a look there, you'll notice how we've got the icons in the middle. You've got a single icon that's for think, you've got double icons for pair, and you've got 3 icons for share. Okay, so very quickly you can see how the activities are easily identifiable as something that you can do on your own, something you need a partner for, or something that you need to work in a small group with. Now I'm also going to turn to page 108, and on page 108 we are going to have a look at a sample activity. Okay, so this is an activity where we've got some physical involvement in, as well as some theory. So if you have a look there right at the top, the exercise is blind spot test. Okay, so we've got a diagram, quite a technical diagram up at the top that explains how the blind spot works, and there's a really clever exercise there at the bottom there that you can do on your own very easily, that's outlined in a few steps, simple steps that are very clearly articulated so that you can follow it through all by yourself. The majority of the activities contained within the book are available on our resources page on martialmindpower.com. In order to access the resources, go to martialmindpower.com and sign up. You will get a link to access the resources page where you will be able to access worksheets, videos, tutorials, and much more supplemental material to help support you through your 9 steps of self-mastery. And finally, when you're going through the book, keep an open mind, and the more you put in, the more you'll get out. So if I can ask you for one thing, and that would be, please give 100% of yourself in order to get 200% of yourself out. Okay, to tap into that ultimate potential. Okay, and final words is, are you ready to become a black belt now? Peace and respect.